Sebastian Carter had always thrived on routine. At 45, he had constructed a life as methodical and measured as the engineering projects he managed, predictable, dependable, emotionally muted in a way that had become comfortable over time. His wife, Harper, 43, had always been his opposite. Animated, spontaneous, a spark that lit the corners of their quiet suburban life. For 16 years, her laughter filled their home, and her zest for life kept their marriage from slipping into mechanical dullness. Their daughter, Lily, 14, mirrored Harper in nearly every way. Curious, bold, and brimming with independence. For the longest time, Sebastian believed their family life was running smoothly, like a well-maintained machine. But the first sign of trouble surfaced on a seemingly ordinary Tuesday. Harper came home late from her part-time job at the local library, her cheeks rosy from the wind, her hair slightly out of place. When Sebastian asked about it, she laughed it off, blaming a last-minute book donation. Still, he noticed her evasive eyes, the restless way she fiddled with her coat. That night, she pulled him into bed with a passion that felt rushed, almost unfamiliar. He didn't protest, but a small, nagging doubt lodged itself in the back of his mind. In the weeks that followed, Harper's behavior became more erratic. She picked up extra shifts at the library, explaining it away with talk of budget cuts. She bought lingerie for the first time in years, items she had always shrugged off as unnecessary. One afternoon, while putting away laundry, Sebastian found a hotel receipt tucked into the side pocket of her purse. When he asked her about it, she met his eyes with a perfectly controlled expression and said it was from a fundraising gala. "You remember, you couldn't make it." He had nodded, though the lie tasted bitter. But the breaking point came on the night of Lily's piano recital. Harper had promised to meet them at the school by 7 p.m. Yet by 7:30, there was no sign of her. Her phone went unanswered. Lily's rendition of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata was shaky but heartfelt. Sebastian barely heard it, his hands gripping the recital program so tightly the ink smudged against his palms. Harper finally arrived at 8:15, out of breath, disheveled, and murmuring about car trouble. He didn't mention the unfamiliar cologne that clung faintly to her scarf. That Saturday, he decided to confirm what he had begun to suspect. Harper had left for what she claimed was a yoga class, a new addition to her schedule. 10 minutes after she pulled out of the driveway, Sebastian followed. But instead of heading to the yoga studio, she parked a few blocks away in front of a modest townhouse Sebastian knew well. It belonged to Daniel Hartman, Lily's soccer coach, a widower in his late 30s. Daniel had a reputation for being charming, the kind of man who always had an easy smile. Sebastian sat in his car, engine idling, and watched as Harper knocked on Daniel's door. Daniel greeted her with a warm grin, his hands settling on her waist a little too familiarly as he ushered her inside. Time slowed. 20 minutes passed, then 40, an hour. When Harper emerged, her hair was pulled up in a messy bun, her lips faintly swollen. Sebastian drove home in silence, his chest tight and throat burning. That night, after Lily had gone to bed, he found Harper in the kitchen, humming as she rinsed a wine glass. The scene, so simple, so normal, felt almost cruel. "We need to talk," he said, his voice steady though his insides churned. She turned, her smile fading. "About what?" "Daniel Hartman." The glass slipped from her hand and shattered on the tile. She stood motionless for a moment, then looked up, her face blank. "It's not what you think," she said quickly. "Really?" He folded his arms. "Because I saw you today. I saw you go into his house. You were there for an hour and 12 minutes. What kind of yoga are they teaching over there? Downward dog with a side of betrayal?" Her mask cracked. "Sebastian, please. It just happened. I didn't mean for it to." "How long?" he asked. She hesitated, eyes on the floor, her fingers worrying the edge of her sweater. "A few months." The words hit like a gut punch. "Months," he repeated, leaning against the counter for support. "You've been lying to me for months." "It wasn't like that," she said, her voice rising. "I felt so alone. Sebastian, you're always working, always distracted. Daniel, he listens. He sees me. So now it's my fault?" He let out a bitter laugh. Instead of talking to me, you decided to fall into the arms of our daughter's coach. Don't say it like that, she whispered. It wasn't just physical. Oh, that's even better. You're in love. He turned his back to her, gripping the edge of the sink to keep his hand steady. Get out. What? You heard me. Pack a bag. I don't care where you go, but you're not staying here tonight. Sebastian, please, she begged, reaching for him. He flinched away. Now, before I say something I won't be able to take back. Harper left, crying, the slam of the garage door echoing behind her. Sebastian stayed in the kitchen, staring at the broken glass scattered across the floor. Upstairs, Lily's music drifted down from her room, a pop song about heartbreak that felt painfully fitting. He slid down to the floor, his back against the cabinets, and let himself cry for the first time in years. The days that followed blurred together. Harper called constantly, leaving voicemails that shifted between apologies and justifications. He didn't listen to any of them, deleted each one without a second thought. Lily, sensing something was wrong, withdrew into silence. Her questions were met with vague half-truths. Mom stayed with a friend for a while, he told her, hating himself for saying it. At work. Sebastian tried to lose himself in blueprints and spreadsheets, but nothing held his focus. Numbers blurred. Details escaped him. One afternoon, his assistant Karen knocked gently on his door, peeking in with a soft expression. Everything okay? She asked. Peachy, he replied, offering a tight smile that didn't reach his eyes. He muttered under his breath, snapping the folder shut with more force than necessary.